Hey guys, nothing important here, and today we're here for Q&A episode 3. Now, I was late for a couple days, personal stuff happened, don't want to talk about it, so, better late than never. So, we're going to start off on the video, and then we're going to go to the Discord to get the Q&A questions. So there's probably only like one or two here on the video that we'll go with, so let's see. From question 1 from None the Phantom, let's say character A has some sort of failsafe that activates in response to character A being axiomatically erased. Will that count as high godly regen for character A? A, it depends on the failsafe to begin with, because we can't just use the term failsafe. B, if it's a type of regeneration or immortality, it would depend on the extent of the erasure, like their entire verse and everything, blah blah blah. Like high godly regen means that you and your entire universe and everything with it is erased, and that even despite that, you can come back from the dead. That's generally what high godly is, you know. So, uh, it would so honestly, it would depend on the failsafe, and then it would depend on how it's applied. Otherwise, it's kind of a vague question. Question 2 from Lasso. Am I dropping a Garo scale? No. Uh, Other than that, if a certain character has universal feats and at one time he dies, does that upscale death within the verse or contradict them being outer? Okay, so firstly, if they die, again, it depends on how they die, is whether or not it'll basically turn into a contradiction. B, dying doesn't invalidate an universal scale, because Oryx in his true form, he got killed by the fire team, and they were super fucking amped. So it doesn't mean Oryx uh, does not mean Oryx isn't outer. It just means that Oryx was killed by the fire team. So that's for question 2. Yeah, dying does not inherently limit 1A scaling. It depends on the context purely. So for Master Reaper, this is something that came from what was it? It was the previous question I got about someone wanting to know about Anos versus Crota. Uh, if you guys want me to do like a video with like Anos versus Crota or something, let me know. And I mean, I'll check it out and see if Master Reaper and I can do a fight on it. Otherwise, that's it for the YouTube. So let's go ahead and go to the Discord. Let's see. So we're on question 3 now. Let's see. I installed Shido. No. How far do I think Comp 682 gets in Destiny? Uh, let's see. We'll go ahead and start from this question. So, how far do you think a Comp 682 gets in Destiny? True form, constant of termination, etc. So, we'll say a composite OP 682 is kind of around the same range as Scarlet King. We'll say that 682 is anywhere around the true form Crota to around the true form Oryx territory. I'm not fully sure where 682 is at, but that seems to be where he is, at least in comparison to Destiny. So, question 4, Oryx has, actually, no, I'm sorry. Question 4 from Graviton Lance. Oryx has an infinite amount of hive and doesn't use them to feed his worm. Your thoughts? Oryx literally has a hive called the War Priest that goes and like fuels his worm for him. So, regardless of what happens, the War Priest is constantly dealing with the Oryx's burden himself. So, um, it's not contradictory of anything. It's that he literally has a hive, high ranking in the High War that does that for him. Like if you look at the War Priest lore, you'll notice that he's the dude that handles all the slaughter and everything. So, question 5 from Wubs. Warframe versus Destiny thoughts? So, it goes like this, and with the utmost of respect, Atheon of all things from like the Vault of Glass in Destiny 1 is gonna go in solo Warframe. Look, Warframe's hella strong, but it's got that JoJo syndrome where like you're not really insanely powerful. In a conventional term, a lot of the characters, like the Warframes, use hacks. And then there's Void. What was it? Pilots. The pilots. You can probably argue them to like infinite 4D to like 5D. And then there's some conceptual stuff for Warframe. So you can probably get somewhere higher than 5D. But like regardless, you're not topping Atheon. Atheon's gonna go in solo Warframe. So Warframe does not go past low tier in Destiny. For question 6 from Meta, you can't be outer if you can age, right? Well, usually you have to be beyond the concept of age uh, to be outerversal. But let me give you a circumstance where it does work. Say you're human level or so, but then say you have like this 1A hacks, or you have this 1A tech, or you have a type of intelligence that allows you to like outsmart 1A characters. You can have things about you that's outerversal without necessarily contradicting outerversal. It's just that it requires a lot of evidence to prove that those things you have that aren't outerversal are potent enough to keep up with what is outerversal. It's like what I said as a response to this question. You could have 1A hacks or tech. So that is question, I believe, let's see, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 6 from Meta. Okay, question 7 from Suppa Green Bay. Who do you think wins between Marsov and Aramis? Uh, right now, probably Aramis. Aramis seems to be around the main character. Although they get beat up by Mithrax. So if you can scale Marsov 2 and above current Mithrax, then like you can pretty much get away with arguing that Marsov is slapping Aramis. Figured to ask this. Also, Petra versus Sajir Ido. Um, I mean, current Petra is gonna go and bolo Ido. Current Petra, actually in Season of the Lost, she was basically fine with arguing and possibly getting into a fight with Crota, not Crota, Crow, in about every encounter they had. So Petra is completely fine with fighting someone who's paracausal as of like Season of the Lost and winning. Now, you'd have to give scaling to Sajir Ido that put her on par with that. Otherwise, Petra is kind of gonna bolo on Sajir Ido. Is it okay, so that's question 7. Question 8 from Cosmo. Is it possible for a character to be beyond ontology? No. You're just more fundamentally ontological. That's it. If you're somehow beyond ontology, then you weren't ontological to begin with. Question 9 from Homisage. From which of these 4 series would a character be overpowered with Destiny's nonsense? So, SCP, probably the Foundation or the Crimson Demon. For Legend of Zelda, easily one of the Triforce users. Link, Zelda, or Ganondorf is going to have a hell of a time with paracausal abilities. From JoJo, I'm straight up terrified of cars and like any of like the really good Joestars having paracausal stuff. Like, okay, what do you think about this? A dude with like an IQ of 400 is like technically the most superior of inherently biological life forms, right? Is like the most superior of those people, where the only way to top him is like introduce stands, which are like ghosts. So like SCP characters are pretty fucking tough. Legend of Zelda characters, they're pretty tough too, right? But like, don't ignore cars. Like the dude's city level and he's got like what is it, light speed or faster than light nonsense? Yeah, he has like FTL nonsense. So, like cars is pretty terrifying. For question, well, not question 4. From RoboCop, usually RoboCane or RoboCop. That's like no debate. So, um, yeah, for question 7 or 9, that's what I'd say for Homie Sage. For question 10, for Moonlight, what do you think of Guardian becoming a disciple for the Witness? Well, He's gonna go run the hens with the Alliance, and he's gonna go and bowl the Alliance. That's what the fuck's gonna happen if he becomes a disciple for the Witness. It's question 10. For question 11 from Cosmo, can the Guardians survive in outer space? Yes, they can. They'd have to use a lot of paracausal abilities, but they'd have to channel their energy for sure. But yeah, they could survive in space without helmets. Question 12. From Moonlight, what other power scaling videos do you have in plan to make for this series besides Destiny and horror movie characters? Well, okay. That is a good question. Um, let's see. I mean, I'm thinking about doing something for Legend and Dragoon. There's always Terminator that I could probably go back to. There's maybe one or two more videos I can make on RoboCop, besides just doing a bunch of versus battles for RoboCop. So, I mean, it's kind of up in the air. I mean, I also have JoJo related power scaling, but I want to finish all the JoJo parts and, get guide stuff and interview stuff before I go and do JoJo content. So, that's question 12 from Moonlight. So question 13 from, again, Homie Sage. What would happen if the Crimson Demon got a Paraverse form? Let's see. Well, how do I put this? I mean, he'll be on Star Horse's radar. Otherwise, Star Horse is gonna. Well, no, because Star Horse would still scale above him because he'd be Paraversal. So yeah, he'd still be soloed by Star Horse, but he'd be pretty far into the Paraverse meta for sure. We're talking about fucking like Witness level scary probably, if he got a Paraverse form, depending on the scaling for it. So that's question 13 from Homie Sage. Let's see, how long have we been doing this? 12 minutes? Fuck, that's been like a long ass while. So anyway, if you guys have more questions, seriously ask them, put them down, and I'll go ahead and take a crack and answer them on Friday or Saturday. Ask in the Discord, ask on the YouTube, and by Friday or Saturday, I'll make sure to put out the Q&A video. Anyway, my name is Nothing Important here, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.